This video is a dot connector video where we're going to connect an Asterix comic made in 2017, Dr. Anthony Fauci, and whether a meteor is going to hit the Earth, or whether there's going to be some kind of natural catastrophe or man-made natural catastrophe which the coronavirus is some kind of cover for. So in this Asterix comic, which was made in 2017, you have a character shouting coronavirus, and he's wearing a mask, riding a chariot of horses, and he scares the Roman people. Okay, now coronavirus, corona means the crown of the sun, so you have the sun crown virus, and in ancient Rome they used to worship Sol Invictus, which means the unconquerable sun. So you have the sun symbolism, and you have the mask, and you have the character shouting coronavirus in 2017 in an Asterix comic. Now at the end of this comic, the emperor takes off the mask, and you realise that it was the emperor all along, so it was some kind of hoax. But then you have a volcanic eruption which a meteorite is projected, so the image actually looks like a meteorite or a meteor, some kind of asteroid hitting the Earth. So this comic seems to portray that the coronavirus hysteria was some kind of cover for some kind of natural catastrophe. Now, is a meteor actually going to hit the Earth? And is that why we have the coronavirus, or one of the reasons why we have the coronavirus? Now, in 2017, the same year that comic was released, you have Anthony Fauci predicting that there would be a pandemic during Trump's administration.
There will be a surprise outbreak. Given, as you heard from the introduction, that I have been around for a while and have had the opportunity and the privilege and the pleasure of serving in 5 administrations, I thought I would bring that perspective to the topic today, is the issue of pandemic preparedness. And if there's one message that I want to leave with you today based on my experience, and you'll see that in a moment, is that there is no question that there will be a challenge, the coming administration, in the arena of infectious diseases, both chronic infectious diseases in the sense of already ongoing disease, and we have certainly a large burden of that, but also there will be a surprise outbreak. And I hope by the end of my relatively short presentation...
So there you go, he predicts a coming pandemic during Trump's administration. Now, if you look at his name, Anthony Fauci, his surname comes from Italy. Now, if we look at his name, Fauci, we see that his name actually means sickle. So it's a strange name for someone who's involved in medicine, that their surname is actually Sickle, because the sickle is associated with the Grim Reaper, Father Time, and the god Saturn. And we know that the god Saturn is an extremely important god for the Freemasons, with the hexagon and the hexagram. So the seal of Solomon, it has to do with Saturn, and you have Israel, so the god El is Saturn. Okay, so you have this strange connection between his name, which means sickle, and of course the Grim Reaper is always, or Saturn is always depicted with a sickle or a scythe. And you can see here, so you have a sickle or a scythe that Father Time or Saturn is always depicted with. You have the communist movement and statues with the sickle, showing you that communism was all Masonic. So you have his name, which is related to Saturn, the god of time, and he has a Roman background. Now, is there a relationship between Fauci and that comic of Asterix? So you have this strange symbolism there. Now, you have these Illuminati game cards which seem to have predicted the coronavirus. So you have a Chinese man releasing the virus, you have the quarantine card with the face masks, and you have the population reduction card. Now, the Illuminati game cards also have a meteor strike card. So, as you see in that comic, you have this kind of what looks like a meteor hitting the Earth, but it comes from a volcano. Now, is this meteor, is it going to come from fragments of a comet called Comet Atlas? And will it hit the Earth? And is the coronavirus some kind of cover for a bigger event, like what is shown in that comic? And I found this card, which I found really interesting. It's called Interesting Times, and you have a man doing a religious pose like a saint. It's an Illuminati game card. You have these strange alien beings or viruses, and you have frogs falling out of the air. But what's interesting is you have this red background, and you have these meteorites hitting the earth, and you have this red background. Is there some kind of connection between the coronavirus and that there's going to be this natural or man-made natural disaster? And is there some kind of strange symbolism with Anthony Fauci, whose name means sickle, which was a symbol of the Grim Reaper, meaning death? So you have a strange surname for a man who's involved with medicine. And according to Dr. Julie Mikovits, Anthony Fauci collaborated with the Wuhan labs in the creation of the coronavirus, and he is involved in Bill Gates and has interests in the vaccine. Okay, thank you.